Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pause for a moment. Wherever you are right now, take a breath and feel that air in your lungs. You know what that is? That's a gift, a sign. You're not here by accident. You're not here alone. I need you to understand something today. God is with you right now, always. I know life can get real tough. Oh, it'll knock you down, make you question your path, make you doubt if you can get back up. There will be times when you look around and feel like you're facing the world alone. But I'm here to tell you today, you're not. And you never were. Let me ask you something. How many times have you been in a situation where you thought it was over, where you couldn't see the way out, and somehow, some way the door opened, the phone rang, or a hand reached out? That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was God stepping in. You see, God doesn't abandon his people. He's right there in the fire with you, just like he was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, walking with you through every storm, every trial, every moment when the world says, you're done, God says, not yet. No matter where you are or what you're going through, I need you to understand this fundamental truth: God's presence is unshakable. He is with you in every breath you take and every step you make. It doesn't matter if you're at the peak of your success, standing tall with confidence, or at the lowest point in your life, questioning everything you thought you knew. He's right there. It's easy to feel God when everything is going well, but it's in the moments of pain, confusion, and uncertainty where his presence becomes most powerful. God's presence isn't conditional. It's not something you have to earn. It's not something that comes and goes based on your circumstances. He's there when you celebrate, and he's there when you're on your knees, broken, not knowing how you're going to take the next step. The thing is, sometimes we get so caught up in the whirlwind of life that we forget to look up to realize that he's been walking right beside us all along. You might feel alone, but your feelings aren't the truth. The truth is, God never leaves you. He's not just watching from a distance. He's in the middle of it with you, guiding you, holding you up when you don't have the strength to stand. Even when you can't see it, he's working, aligning things in your favor, setting up situations that will shape you into the person he's called you to be. Don't doubt his presence in your life. It's constant, unshakable, and unwavering. Wherever you are, whatever you're facing, God is with you always. When life gets tough, fear is often the first emotion that creeps in. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being alone. It can feel overwhelming, like a weight pressing down on your chest, making it hard to move forward. But here's the truth: when you understand that God is with you, that fear starts to lose its grip. Faith begins where fear ends. And faith, real faith, isn't just about believing when everything is going right. It's about trusting when everything seems to be falling apart. You see, fear thrives in uncertainty. It whispers lies, telling you that you're not enough, that you won't make it, that you're alone in your struggles. But faith answers back with power. Faith says, I may not know what's coming next, but I know who's walking with me. It's that understanding that God is always by your side that allows you to face even the most challenging situations without flinching. It's the confidence that no matter what storm you're in, God is holding the umbrella. Challenges will come. Life will throw curveballs. But when you know God is with you, you don't have to crumble under the pressure. You don't have to let fear dictate your steps. Faith becomes your guide. Faith reminds you that what you're going through is temporary, but God's presence is permanent. He's not going anywhere. He's been there before you, and he'll be there long after the storm has passed. The next time fear tries to take over, remind yourself who's in control. You don't have to figure everything out. You just have to walk in faith, knowing that with God beside you, there's nothing you can't face. When life hits hard, it's easy to question where God is in the midst of your struggle. It's natural to wonder why things are happening the way they are, why you're facing the challenges that seem too heavy to bear. But let me tell you something, those hard times, those moments when you feel like you're at your breaking point, that's where God's presence is strongest, even if you don't realize it. Sometimes it's in the struggle that God is shaping you, preparing you, and revealing his purpose for your life. We often think that God's presence is only evident when everything is going well, when the sun is shining and life is smooth. But the truth is, it's in the tough moments, the ones that test your faith, that God is closest. He's not distant, watching you struggle from afar. He's right there in the middle of it with you, carrying you when you feel like you can't take another step. It's during these trials that God is molding you, building your character, and strengthening your spirit for what lies ahead. You may not understand why things are happening the way they are, but God sees the bigger picture. He's working behind the scenes, turning your pain into purpose, your trials into testimonies. He's using the struggle to elevate you, to take you to a place you couldn't reach without going through the fire. That's how he works, using the very things that seem like setbacks to set you up for something greater. Don't lose hope in the struggle. Don't think God has left you when life gets hard. He's there, and he's using this season to prepare you for something beyond what you can see right now. Trust the process. Prayer is powerful. It's more than just words spoken into the air. It's a direct line to the creator of the universe, the one who holds everything in his hands. When you pray, you're not simply talking, you're opening the door for God to move in your life. Prayer is a conversation, a connection, a lifeline to the one who is always with you. Whether you're praising him, crying out in pain, or simply seeking guidance, prayer taps into the ever-present help that God offers. Too often we underestimate the power of prayer because we don't always see immediate results. We expect instant answers, but what we don't realize is that every prayer we pray is heard. Every single one. It may not always feel like it, and sometimes God's answer doesn't come in the way we expect. But know this: God is always listening, and he responds according to his perfect will and timing. Prayer doesn't change God's presence, it changes our awareness of his presence. When you pray, you're reminding yourself that God is with you, that you're not walking through life alone. It's a way to realign your heart with his, to take your worries, your fears, your dreams, and lay them before him, trusting that he's already working things out for your good. Sometimes the answer to your prayer isn't the immediate fix you hope for, but the strength to keep going, the peace to wait, or the clarity to see the situation differently. Prayer is less about getting what we want and more about drawing closer to the one who knows what we need. It's the tool that keeps you grounded in faith no matter what you're facing, and reminds you that God is with you in every moment, guiding you through. Life is full of unknowns. We often find ourselves at crossroads, unsure of which path to take, uncertain about what's coming next. It's in these moments of doubt and confusion that God's presence becomes more crucial than ever. Even when the road ahead seems unclear and the future feels unpredictable, you can trust that God is with you, guiding your steps. His presence offers a steady hand in the midst of the chaos, a calm in the storm, reminding you that you don't have to navigate the uncertainty on your own. We crave control. We want to know the plan, see the outcome, and understand every twist and turn. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith is trusting God's plan even when you don't see the whole picture. It's knowing that while you may not know the destination, God is already there. He sees what you can't, and he's orchestrating every detail in ways that are beyond your comprehension. You're never truly lost when God is leading the way. When you face decisions and uncertainties, it can feel like you're walking in darkness. But with God by your side, you're never without light. He doesn't always reveal the entire path all at once sometimes. He just gives you enough light for the next step. That's where faith comes in, taking that step, trusting that God will illuminate the way as you continue to walk forward. And here's the beauty of it: even when you make a mistake or take a wrong turn, God's guidance doesn't abandon you. He redirects, he realigns, he uses every detour to bring you closer to your purpose. So when uncertainty looms and fear tries to creep in, remind yourself that God is already ahead of you, making a way. You're never walking blind. He's guiding you every step of the way. There's power in stillness. In a world that's constantly moving, filled with noise, distractions, and demands, we often forget that sometimes the most profound experiences with God happen in the quiet moments. It's in the silence where you can feel his presence more deeply, where his voice becomes clearer and his strength becomes undeniable. God is always with you, but it's in the stillness that you can truly sense him, because that's when all the noise fades away and you're left with just him. We tend to associate God's presence with big, miraculous moments, those life-changing events where his hand is undeniably at work. But don't overlook the still small moments, because that's often where God is whispering his greatest truths to you. When everything else is stripped away and you're left in silence, that's when you can hear him best. It's in those moments of quiet reflection, when you stop trying to figure everything out, that God's peace begins to fill your heart. Stillness isn't just about physical silence. It's about quieting your soul, calming your mind, and allowing yourself to be fully present with God. Life pulls you in 1,000 directions, but when you take the time to be still before Him, you'll find strength you didn't know you had. It's in those moments when you're not striving, not pushing, but simply being that God's presence becomes more tangible. His strength flows in when you stop trying to do it all on your own. In the stillness, you begin to realize that you don't have to carry every burden, solve every problem, or know every answer. God is with you, and He's asking you to trust Him. He's not distant. He's right there, closer than you think, waiting for you to stop, be still, and let Him remind you that He's in control. In the quiet and the waiting, that's where His strength is revealed, and that's where you'll find the peace that surpasses all understanding.